How's it going, everybody? My name is RigPop, and today I'll be bringing you another top 10 video. Today's top 10 video will be featuring the top 10 possible Pokemon Sun and Moon starters. Now, note we do not own any of this art, and all the links to the sources will be in the description, so you can go check them out for yourself. Also, we will be not counting down these Pokemon from least good to best. They'll all be in random order. Now, let's get right into this. With the announcement of Pokemon Sun and Moon, there have been a lot of ideas surfacing regarding what the new starters will be like, and we're here today to count down 10 cool concepts that'll be interesting to see in Pokemon Sun and Moon. So let's get started. So at the 10th place we got ourselves Kidling. Now Kidling is a ghost Pokemon. Now we do have Go-Goat, which is another goat Pokemon, but this one is a fire type, and honestly it is pretty sick. The second evolution and the final evolution of this Pokemon are freaking amazing. You can find them in the link in the description below, but we'll also have them on the screen. The final evolution is called Flairies, and it looks freaking amazing, honestly. And Kidling is just adorable. I think this is probably one of the cutest starters I've ever seen, and it is just amazing. And I would love to see another goat Pokemon in Pokemon as a starter. I think this is a cool concept, and it would work really well. Let's go to the next one. Next up we got ourselves Gleafard. Gleafard is a lizard grass type Pokemon, which looks pretty sick, and the evolutions are pretty sick as well. It is a interesting Pokemon nonetheless, because we haven't seen too many lizard Pokemon, so to say, and I don't think we have any lizard starters. I'm not sure what you would consider Bulbasaur as, but this is a pretty cool Pokemon, and the evolutions are pretty sick as well. I think they look amazing, and they would fit really well in. Maybe with some of the other starters on this list, they could fit in really well, and honestly, I think it's a great starter and a great grass type. I don't think we have too many badass grass types, to be honest. Let's go to the next one. Now, the next Pokemon of this does not have a name, we couldn't find one, but there is a link to where the image came from in the description below. Now, on the other hand, this thing looks adorable. The first stage is freaking cute as hell, and I would love to have that thing. It's almost like a dog when you first take a look at it, but then as it evolves, it looks more like a lion in some sort of way. And I think that is pretty cool. Honestly, I would love to see this Pokemon. It is adorable, first of all, which the first stage has to be both adorable, but at the same time, freaking amazing. And once it evolves, it has to be badass. In my opinion, that's how it works. And honestly, the final stage looks freaking sick, like a lion just standing proudly right there. And I think this would be a cool concept. Let's go to the next one. And next up we got ourselves Camelleaf, which is a little badass Pokemon and a grass type. This thing is, first of all, adorable, but at the same time, really antagonizing. Just look at those eyes. They're staring into your soul, god damn it. Now, the reason why I love this Pokemon so much is because out of all the Pokemon on this list, this is the one of the few that does not resemble an animal in some way or shape, or looks like any previous Pokemon we've ever seen. It just is unique in its own way and shape, and I just think it's adorable. Looks freaking cute, and just looks badass. I think this Pokemon deserves to be in Pokemon Sun and Moon. If they create something similar to this, I'd love it, because this Pokemon is freaking adorable. Let's go to the next one. And next up we got ourselves Ruska, which is a little grass type Pokemon. Now this thing is, like all the other Pokemon, really adorable, but also the reason why I have it on this list is because this one actually really shows the fact that it is a grass type. It has the leaves and stuff on the back, almost like it looks like a bush at the back of it, and in general it looks almost like a rabbit, but it's kind of hard to really distinguish what animal it really looks like. But in general, it's a cool design, and the final stage is freaking epic. The mid stage is kind of not too special, but with some tweaks, I think this Pokemon would be pretty freaking cool to have as a grass type. Let's go to the next one. And next up, we're probably going to have everybody's favorite Pokemon on this list. It's going to be El Koala. Now, El Koala is a koala fire type. Now, a lot of people for a long ass time have wanted a koala Pokemon. Like, a lot of people wanted it. Now, I would complain at the final stage, which looks really, really weird. Almost like a angry old man, in my opinion. But if it tweaked, I'd think this would be freaking incredible to have as a Pokemon. Now, the first stage is adorable, and you notice the koala-ness almost in it. Like, it just... look at it. It looks both tired, but at the same time, like it's ready to beat something up. And the mid stage is freaking sick. Like, it just generally looks sick. Let's go to the next one. And next up we got ourselves Hamite, which is a little adorable water type Pokemon. Now, this thing looks adorable, but at the same time, the third stage of this Pokemon is just badass. The way a final stage should look is badass, and this is the definition of that. In general, I think this is based on the hammerhead shark, which is a shark, a real-life animal that exists, and I think that's where he got the idea from for it from. That's probably what it's called, Hamite, which kind of sounds like hammer in some way or shape. But on the other hand, though, you can see kind of like the style they went for with like the, I guess, the little shape on their head kind of growing onto the back of their head as they evolve, which is pretty sick. I think in general we haven't really seen any water type Pokemon that are in this type of style. All the water starters that we've had so far have always kind of been creatures that can be both on land and water. I feel like this one fits way better in water at a constant time. Now obviously it does have legs, so it can walk on earth, like on ground, but on the other hand though, it is pretty sick if this would be one of the first few Pokemon that we have as a starter that prefers to be in water most of the time. Let's go to the next one. Now next we got ourselves Barkindo, which is a dog/wolf fire type Pokemon. Now it looks adorable, and I think it would be pretty cool to see a Pokemon that is based off of a dog/wolf turning into a starter. We haven't really seen that before. We do have, like, you know, dog Pokemon and stuff like that, but we don't really have a dog starter/wolf starter. And now the final stage of this Pokemon turns it almost into like a werewolf type Pokemon. It stands on two legs and it looks sick. I think that would be a pretty cool concept, and there could be a lot of things worked around about this. Like, this is just generally a cool design. It would be pretty cool to see what people could, like, you know, what Nintendo could come up with, and what Game Freak could turn this into, because there's some cool concept you can do with this Pokemon. Now let's go to the next one. Now, next up we got ourselves Calfire, which is a Calf Pokemon. Now, hear me out, this thing is adorable. And also, I think it's pretty cool that, like, this is just a generally cool concept. A Calf Pokemon. Now, the thing is, you'd be expecting it to, when it evolves to its final stage, to be standing on 4 legs and looking like a bull. But instead, it's standing on 2 legs, and it's more like a Minotaur, which is kind of weird, but honestly, it is just freaking cool. In general, I think the final evolution is, like all the other evolutions, really badass in general, and it looks pretty cool. And at the same time, I would also love to know what kind of typings would you put on a Pokemon like this, and actually all the other Pokemons, what kind of typings, dual typings would you have on them? I would love to know what you guys think about that. But in general, it's a cute Pokemon, it's a cool concept, and I wouldn't mind. Actually, it would be pretty cool to see that. And let's go to the next one. Now, the final Pokemon on this list is Fong. Now, Fong is a water deer Pokemon, and it is pretty cool. Now, in general, we have seen other deer type Pokemon, or like Pokemons in this type of style, but a starter, never before. And also, it's a water type, which is kind of interesting. I mean, we have seen Keldeo, which is a fighting/water type, which is kind of interesting and kind of like a weird concept. On the other hand, though, this is a different type of Pokemon. This is a starter, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how it would work out. Now, the final evolution is pretty darn sick. I can just say that. It looks pretty sick. And I would love to know what you guys think. Like, what kind of typings would you put on a Pokemon like this? Actually, all the other Pokemons, I want to know what dual typings would you put on them. Leave them in the comments below. We can look into it, and I would love to talk to you guys about it. So, in the comments below, tell me what kind of dual typings do you think these Pokemon would fit with? Like, what other typings, other than the base typing, would fit well with them? That's the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed, smash that like button below. Let's see if we can hit like 10 likes or whatever. And if you made it this far, you know what you are. You're a lad. Bye-bye.